Hey everybody, Kris Amerikos here, and I just decided to make a quick video. We'll see how quick it is, because I just had a few minutes and I thought, why not? And there's a topic that a lot of people ask me about, and I thought, since I have a little bit of time, I'll tell you about it. And that's verb tenses in English. Now, this is a really, really big topic, and there's no way that I could really say everything about all verb tenses in English. But I'm going to try to quickly explain the main points that you probably are getting confused about, the main points that you probably need to know. And if you like this video, then I suggest that you join my free seminar where I will tell you how to learn English better in just 1 month and how you can speak English better in just 1 month, okay? So in this video, I'm going to tell you about verb tenses. And the first thing that a lot of people ask me is, well, why is it called a verb tense? Why not a verb time, right? And the difference is that, there are different times with verbs in English and in other languages. For example, past, present, and future. And we can think of those as times, right? Now, before, and after. But verb tenses are a little different. Verb tenses tell us a little bit more about these times. And generally people think that there are 12 verb tenses in English. There's actually more. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the standard 12 verb tenses that people usually think about when they ask about verb tenses in English. So, you've probably heard about this before. They start with simple, continuous, or some people don't say continuous, some people say progressive. Then we have perfect, and then we have perfect continuous, or perfect progressive. And these are different tenses. These are different aspects of these verbs that we can use, and they have different meanings. So let's start at the beginning. Let's start with present simple, past simple, and future simple. Now, it's really funny that this is called simple because it's actually the most difficult verb aspect to understand, because it's different for present and it's different for past and future. So present simple is something that happens regularly, like a cycle. We do it every day, or we don't do it every day. Maybe we do it never, we never do it, or we always do it. So it's some kind of thing that is usual, a usual situation, a usual status, a usual way of being. And so, for example, we can say, I live in Florida. This is present simple. It's something that happens regularly and it's a cycle. Now, past simple is different and future simple is different. Past simple and future simple tell us about one moment, and then that moment is finished, and it doesn't tell us more. So in past simple, we have one moment in the past, and that one moment in the past is completely finished. It will never happen again. So when we use some kind of phrase about a time period, for example, yesterday, or last week, or 2 days ago, when we say things like that, then we need to use past simple, because 2 days ago will never happen again. Last week will never happen again. Yesterday will never happen again. So that's why when we have those kinds of phrases, we need to use past simple, not present perfect, not something else. So the important thing to remember here is that simple, this idea of simple in verbs, is different for present and for past and future. In the future, we have one moment in the future. We only find information about that one moment and nothing more, and there's not more information. So that's why it's simple, because it's just this simple information, one moment when this happened. Now, when we talk about continuous verbs, this is much easier to understand because this is one concept. The concept of continuous and the concept of perfect, these are one concept each, right? So whereas simple is different for past and present, continuous is the same. Continuous tells us about one moment in time. And this one moment in time, we don't see the end of it. There's not a finished result. And it might be just a process that isn't finished. And it might be something that continues, right? Continuous. Something that continues until now. So we don't actually have any result, just a process and just a moment in time. So that is very different, because when we use past simple, for example, then we have a specific event or time in the past that is completely finished, 100% finished, can never happen again. But continuous doesn't give us that result. Continuous only gives us the process or the moment, and it's important to understand that. Now, that's if we talk about, for example, let's look at present continuous. Present continuous tells us about the present moment, right now. Past continuous tells us about a past moment. So, for example, I could say, right now I am filming a video. We could say, yesterday at 5 o'clock, I was filming a video. Right? It's that past moment. And if I wanted to use future continuous, I could say, tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I will be filming a video. So it tells us about one future moment without a result. So really, continuous, past, present, future, it's the same concept, it's the same idea. And when you learn verbs and verb tenses, I suggest learning it like that. There's one concept of continuous, and it's the same for past, present, and future. Now, something that's really hard for most of my students is perfect verbs, present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. But I'm going to tell you that the concept of perfect is very easy. The concept of perfect is like this. You have 2 points in time. One of those points is before the other. That's it. So, if we talk about present perfect, then we have 2 points in time. We have 1 point in the present, and we have 1 point before that. If we talk about past perfect, then we have 2 points in the past. One is closer to the present, right? One is not so far away in the past. And then there's one before that. When we talk about future perfect, we have 1 point that is further in the future and then 1 point before that. So perfect is really the same in present, past, future. It's just one idea, one concept that we need to understand. Now, something else that's special about present perfect is that both of these points are connected for some reason. So, for example, if you have experience now, then we can use present perfect to talk about that, because this event or this thing that happened was in the past, but we see the result of that now. So we have 2 points, and they're connected, and one of these points, the first point, let's say, is in the present. Now, let's say that you want to talk about your experience in the past, right? So, for example, yesterday your friend wanted to watch the film Shrek. And yesterday he asked you, do you want to watch Shrek? And yesterday you said that you did not want to watch Shrek yesterday. So that's the first point in the past. And he says, why? Or I guess he said why, right? Yesterday. He said why. And you said that you had already watched Shrek. So there was another event, another point before that point in the past. So it's really just 2 points. One is before the other. Now, the future perfect is really similar to that too, because in the future we can say, I will have watched Shrek. So for example, 2 of your friends want you to watch this movie. I don't know why, but they do. John says, let's watch Shrek tomorrow, and you say, okay. And then Bob says, let's watch Shrek next week. And you say, I don't want to watch Shrek next week because I will have already watched Shrek, right? Before next week. So we have 2 points in the future. We have next week, and then we have some point before next week, and they're connected because I will have this experience before next week, and I want to show that that experience will be important next week when Bob wanted to watch this movie. So you see, simple verb tenses are actually more difficult than continuous or perfect because they're different. But continuous verb tenses and perfect verb tenses are the same. In the present, the past, the future, it's the same concept, it's the same idea, and it's actually not so difficult to understand. And then, of course, we have perfect continuous. And this is where we put those two ideas, two concepts together, right? So we're focusing on a moment that happened before something. We have 2 points, and the one that happened before is going to be some kind of moment that then is connected to the second point. So we can say, I have been living in Russia for the last month. That's where I am now. I have been living in Russia for the next month. So it's a process, and it's not finished, but we can see some kind of result now from the second point in time. And the second point in time is now, right? That's why it's present perfect continuous. And when we make this, we can see that when we make this verb, when we make a phrase with this, we can see that we need to use the verb have as a helping verb, and that will be in the present because it's present perfect continuous. Now, when we make it past perfect continuous, then the helping verb will be in the past. So we can say that a month ago, John asked where I had been living. So we have 1 point in the past, John asked, and had been living before that. And it's this process, right? It's the process, and we're not focused on a result. And you know what? I'm staying here in Russia for another 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, I will have been living in Russia for a month and a half. So we have 2 points, right? We have the point that is 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks in the future, and then before that is the time from the beginning until that point. So we can count that that's a month and a half. Do you see? So we're just really putting those two ideas together, that there's a process without a result, and there's 2 points, one before the other, and they're connected. So I hope that that helps you understand the basics of verb aspects and verb tenses. So, if you have any questions about this, we're ready to help you. And you can check out the other videos on my YouTube channel. You can check out my Instagram page where I do some live lessons and you can ask questions there. I do the same thing on my Facebook group. And we also have live lessons with me and with other professional teachers every day on my website, krisamerikos.com. So you should see a link somewhere around this video, or maybe in the description under this video. And just click that and go over to my website, and you can join my free seminar where I will explain how you can learn how to speak better English in just 1 month. And I'm serious, you can do it in 1 month. You can make a lot of progress. And then after that, if you like that seminar, you can join my program, my course called Everyday English, where we have live lessons every day. And right now we're up to like 4 or 5 lessons every day, right? And it's really cheap, and there's a discount right now, so check that out. And you'll find a link for that somewhere too. But I suggest joining my free seminar first, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video that I make for you, because I think I'm going to be making a lot more English lessons like this. And let me know if you like it, and if you think that this is useful, share it with your friends, share it to other groups and communities, and thank you for your support. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see everybody next time. Bye-bye.